Welcome to the Sports Show. Mike Max, Patrick Royce, Lavelle E. Neal, and the one and only Sid Hartman. A lot to talk about. The drafts, the Twins, the winless Minnesota, the soccer. Let's start with these drafts. The NBA draft came, and I think a lot of us, Sydney, thought, okay, there's some deal cooking here, and by the end of the night, this is going to look a lot different than it does, even when they took Chris Dunn. What do you think of Chris Dunn? What do you think of the Timberwolves draft?
All I know is that kid's life is the most unbelievable life of any athlete I've ever heard. I'm watching TV Saturday night, and they put a whole section on him, on how his mother ran away from him, how it had nothing to do with his father, how he and his brother had to sell their clothes, had to sell their food, and just had a terrible, terrible life. ESPN had a whole thing. That kid's got to be hungry. I'll tell you that. Now all of a sudden he's got $17 million he will get now for that. So they wanted him all the time, but they didn't think they would get him. They thought Boston would take him, and they're all excited.
Yeah. Patrick?
Well, it does tell you that they kind of feel like in the modern NBA, you need a point guard who can score some points. And I think that Ricky might be on the trading block now, but he certainly will be eventually. This kid's I liked him a lot when I saw him sometimes playing for Providence this winter. I think he was the right guy for him. I think that's, you know, Towns is going to be great. Wiggins is going to be very good. Levine could be terrific, and this kid could be terrific. They could have four really great players.
Okay, so Lavelle, as you're developing Wiggins and Towns and Levine, if not Rubio, you're going to need some veteran point guard here.
Yeah, they don't have one. I mean,
you have Rubio now.
Yeah, Rubio now. He's going to be the veteran.
Well, what's the plan?
Well, my guess would be a one-year apprenticeship.
Chicago, we thought we were going to deal with. That's your team.
No, the Bulls were not going to trade Butler to Thibodeau. They
Why?
were not, because they didn't want to get fleeced by Tibbs. You know, most of their talks were with the Celtics before the draft than the Wolves. That's what one of my guys told me. So I think they'll have a one year where Dunn serves as an apprentice to Rubio, and that's a good transition for them. And then next year, Dunn can take over the point guard spot, and Rubio can move on. I'd said at this table weeks ago that you got to have a point guard to score more than 10 points a game in NBA. I know Rubio does a lot of things, rebounding, defense, things like that, but he blows so many baskets at the rim. If he just finished, he'd shoot 40% from the field or more. But now they got a guy who could be a little more explosive than Ricky.
I don't think Garnett will be back.
Here's the only thing. In football, until they put the pads on, you don't know how good or bad they are. This kid's got the biggest build-up, one of the biggest build-ups, but he hasn't played 1 minute yet
All of the
in the
rookies.
NBA. So you really don't know until he plays.
That's why we have shows like this where they speculate.
No different than anybody else.
Yeah. Patrick?
Says the guy who thinks the Vikings draft is the greatest draft ever, without them playing one single down.
How'd they do it? How'd Rick Spielman pull that off?
Exactly.
Yeah, I don't know what to say about that. That's what makes sports great, the unknown. You know, the fact that you know what I say about sports. We always know what's going to happen unless it doesn't.
Unless it doesn't.
That's right.
But certainly, this is the best feeling that anybody's had about this team since Latrell Sprewell said, "I can't feed my family."
Yeah.
That was basically whatever that date is.
That's a long time ago. That's a long time ago.
So.
Yeah. What do you think of Thibs?
Pardon me?
What do you think of Thibs?
Of what?
Tom Thibodeau.
Well, let's see what he does, too. He won in Chicago, and he played good defense in Chicago. He had better talent in Chicago, and he got here more experienced talent. We'll see what he is. They're definitely not going to make a deal with Chicago. They parted on bad ways. They're not going to make him better, I don't think. But I'm confident they will sign a top free agent.
They got the money.
The
too.
more that, the more you
Everybody
hear
has
Tibbs,
money.
though, the more you miss Flip.
He wasn't going to give you anything, is he?
There's nothing.
He's not even going to talk around it.
He's not exactly the open book that Flip was.
Oh, Flip liked to talk.
How about Layden? Where do you think Layden fits in all this?
He's well, he's pretty much anti. I mean, he's okay, but he's anti-media from New York. You know, where he got beat the hell beat out of him in New York. So he's not like Daddy either, Frank Layden. So he does what they tell him to. He's going to do what Thibodeau tells him to do.
The thing about Tibbs that stands out to me is that he was accused of running the Bulls into the ground with hard practices and everything. But Joakim Noah was like one of the best, all-around players. Well, not all around, but he was one of the better players in the league under Tibbs. And Noah's expressed interest in maybe playing for Tibbs again. Now, that could change as soon as someone offers him $30 million a year, because the NBA's got a lot of money to give away in free agency. But that tells you what they think about Tibbs.
The NHL draft is with less fanfare because we really don't know much about these kids.
Unless you're a
except
Star Tribune subscriber.
a special section.
This kid,
Huh?
you know something about, you talking about the hockey?
Yeah.
Huh? Well, you know something about this kid.
I mean, they drafted a Badger and none of us had heard of him. Let's be honest.
He played for Wisconsin.
Yeah, do you know anything about
That's all
him?
you know.
That's what you know.
You
Let me
don't-
tell you, read the bio.
You're not going to make the team. I think they made a bad mistake getting rid of Vanek. I think he'll go someplace
Vanek, he was a
and
dog.
play well. I think they're going to miss him.
Well, you guys see what they
He was
replaced him with.
hurt a lot last year, and in fact hurt a lot more. I know a kid that knows him very well, lives in the neighborhood, and he said he shouldn't have been playing.
Saw him limping to the car in the driveway and stuff.
So he was very injured last year.
But they've got money now, and if the money goes to
Okposa, right?
Goligoski's off the market, so
Aren't they going to get
that's who they're
Okposa?
targeting, I think.
Yeah, they're going to get Okposa. He'll be better than Vanek.
Well, let's see, because not just for the Wild, but across the league, NHL has money problems because they've been unable to raise the cap as much as they thought they would in recent years, and the Canadian dollar is getting clobbered because they're taking in the Canadian money up there, but paying out American prices, and those teams are doing bad. There's not a lot of money in the league, so there's not a lot of money to spend on free agency.
I think we have the good recruiter for Okposa, though, right? The wife. He's got the wife who wants to come home too.
Yeah,
right?
I mean, it's the Minnesota.
That's the one that gets you to
Brent, man, Ryan Suter's wife is from here, getting on and on it goes.
Parise and Vanek.
Difference between hockey and basketball. The basketball guy's going to play right away. This hockey guy ain't going to play right away.
Right, and first rounders don't always ever make an impact.
Huh? You're not going to play for 3 years probably.
Yeah, okay. Take a break, come back, stay with us.
What's amazing?
The Sports Show is brought to you in part by Cambria, makers of quality quartz surfaces. Ticket King. For the best price on tickets anywhere, try Ticket King. RSM. This is the power of being understood. This is RSM. BMW of Minnetonka. Choose from 60 certified pre-owned BMWs at BMW of Minnetonka. And Bobby and Steve's Auto World. Go to BobbyandSteve'sAutoWorld.com for huge savings on everything from convenience store items to everything under the hood of your car.
All right, guys, we brought you to this construction trailer to talk about trucks today. Which truck brand offers engines with best-in-class V8 towing or fuel economy?
We moving? We're going. It's the answer to the question, baby. Silverado.
Ooh, that's cool.
It's Truck Month. Qualified buyers get 0% financing for 60 months. Plus, find your tank and get $8,250 total value on this Silverado All-Star. Find new roads at your local Chevy dealer.
This 4th of July, Nissan's giving you 1,000 more reasons to celebrate. Choose excitement, capability, safety, and and get holiday bonus cash. During Nissan's Free to Choose event, get up to $1,000 holiday bonus cash on top of existing offers, like a $189 per month lease on Rogue. Hurry! Bonus cash ends July 5th. Shop at your local Nissan store and choose Nissan.com today.
J.D. Hoyt's, I was there last night. I sat with Pat for a long time, had a great time. I got the chicken sandwich with the salad. And don't forget that cheese bread. J.D. Hoyt's coming to downtown Minneapolis.
Kind of hard to stay away
That's
from.
where Tim's goes and eats now. So he brought Chris Gunn in the night before.
Is that right? You know, the wife and I have had the grandkids for 4 days. I think she deserves a nice meal at J.D. Hoyt's.
There you go, man. After you had 4 days of
after we drop them off, I think maybe she deserves a nice
maybe
big
Grandpa
pork
too.
chop. Yeah, right.
Some pig
The
wings.
Minnesota Twins, they had another.
Well,
So
what's amazing to me is how poor fielding they are. They could have won both Yankee games. They got decent pitching in both games, and they made 3 errors in one game. They don't field a darn when their fielding is terrible. And some of the guys that fielding terrible fielded good last year.
Okay, so do teams field well because they draft great fielders and trade for great fielders, or is it a spring training thing?
Sid, these are the same characters who were here a year ago. This was not a Gold Glove team a year ago, man. Some of the stuff was going on last year. It's just more glaring now because they're losing so many games. Escobar's always been an average defensive player at best. Nunez has always been an average defensive player at best. They've always had problems with range in the outfield, but now they're trying to get the right people going.
Catcher suspect.
Exactly. The catchers don't throw anybody out.
You understand what we're saying here? This is getting. And watching Beyond Hill Park play first base isn't exactly a thing of art right now either.
This is not a surprise. This is.
I would say, in the big picture, worse signing than Nishioka because of what it caused you to do. It made no sense.
Yeah.
It never made any sense. The guy, if they keep playing him, he'll hit 160. He's going to Rochester, I would think. But I like Kepler. We finally found a guy I like. I like Kepler.
He homered today.
I like Kepler.
Everybody homered today.
Back to back to back.
Got 5 runs.
By the way, they also said, I heard Corey Provis say, you might be asking if the Twins ever hit 4 in a row. And they did. And then he named them. Oliva, Allison, Hall, Killebrew.
Yep.
Wow.
I don't think it was a surprise. I think that was the night Harry Carey was doing a Cardinals game, and I heard him say, why don't they win the pennant up there? Because they were hitting home.
Killebrew, then that means he's batting like 5th or 6th in the order.
Yeah, right.
Jeez.
So Sano, the rumor I heard that Sano is supposed to be called back from his rehab on Monday and join the team in Chicago. He's been horrible this weekend. Horrible.
In Rochester.
In Rochester. So that may be pushed back a couple days.
They should keep him there until he weighs 260.
Yeah, well, I mean, what's the difference? Any of these moves right now?
He'd have to cut off a leg at the calf.
Seriously, this team may lose 120 games.
Like Patrick said, they're probably going to finish up with the worst record in history. 1982 was the worst. The way they're going right now, there's no doubt they're going to reach it, because their schedule the rest of the way ain't that good either. And I don't know how you can rebuild this team. I don't know how you can rebuild.
Well, that's what everybody's asking. How do you rebuild?
You got Mauer with a $24 million what's called. You got 3 pitchers getting $100 million. Is it true that Kansas City has a $50 million more payroll than Minnesota?
I don't know.
They're on pace to win 50 games this year. 50.
Okay, what's Kansas City's payroll? Similar to the Twins, is it?
It started creeping up there last year and this year. It's over $100 million now, I think.
So if you're going to build I don't know that it's ever been built this way, but just watching, the Yankees don't have a very good team. But when you get to the 7th inning, they got a 6'8", 270-pounder, followed by a left-hander that's, Miller, and then they come back with...
If you're behind the Yankees after 6,
so they keep it close. But are teams going to start building with bullpens? That always used to be the last concern.
But Sid's, the fact that you got Santana for 2 more years and Phil Hughes for 3 more years is a lot bigger problem than Mauer. Mauer's fine. Mauer's an asset. He's not a great asset, but he's an asset.
You got to be patient and proactive. You have to be patient with the young guys that you think are going to be the future of the team. You got to figure out ways to dump salary. And
why are they hitting more home runs lately?
Phil Miller had an interesting...
Maybe this is it.
I guess it is.
Last Sunday's paper, where the Red Sox had a bunch of players
We talked about
that were
that last
terrible and finished
And they
last.
became good, yep.
Jackie
And
Bradley
this
Jr.
year, they're playing great.
Yeah.
What do you say about that, Pat?
I don't.
Says new host Sid Hartman.
I think every situation's different. That's what I think, Sid. I don't. I think Buxton's got a chance to be a mediocre hitter instead of completely inept, which he is now.
Yep.
Lavelle, you were going to say?
Yeah, going back.
I said, why are they hitting more home runs lately?
Well, I think this is the way the team was headed. With Snow here for a whole year and some other guys showing some power and adding Park to the mix. Park, I think, still leads rookies in the American League in home runs. So we saw this coming. The issue with the team is getting on base because they have a ridiculous high percentage of solo home runs in their squad. Even today, they hit 5 home runs.
He should be playing for the
Four of them are solos.
Park should be playing for the Maysville Mud Hens.
Yeah, I mean,
He can't hit a fastball.
but he and Buxton look the same in that they're just whatever plan they got is gone.
Sometimes
after
it
one
takes
pitch.
longer.
Park's got to start early to catch up with the fastball, and then they throw him a breaking ball, and he falls on his head.
Plus, he swings at the one that's in the other batter's
But
box,
hey, we
too.
got a Korean Day coming up next weekend, so we can't get rid of him yet.
Yeah.
I hate to say it, you're probably right.
And they got a Santana bobblehead coming up too, so can't trade him yet.
That's another
I mean,
one,
that's
too.
about what we're down to, isn't it? With this
It's a mess
marketing
now.
campaign they got.
You mean over-marketing campaign?
When you start producing bobbleheads, they got Trevor Plouffe in Star Wars.
Oh, they had an Eddie Rosario Jersey Day.
And sorry, Jersey Day. Might want to think twice, folks. Take a break.
Eddie's hitting 350.
An odometer under 15,000 miles and an up to 5-year, 75,000-mile warranty makes it elite. The way it does this makes it a BMW. Introducing BMW Certified Pre-Owned Elite.
Choose from 60 certified pre-owned BMWs at BMW of Minnetonka.
Looking for a nice, big, juicy rack of ribs?
Fabulous chops, huge steaks, and the Buddy Bowl? Then J.D. Hoyt's is the place for you. Hoyt's opened in 1983, and Mike Andrews and his partner John White have kept this Minnesota tradition at the top of the food chain. Managing owner Pat Montague gives us a tour.
At J.D. Hoyt's, enjoy a relaxed atmosphere, great food, friendly service, private dining room, second-to-none happy hour, just blocks from the new ballpark.
Located at 394 in North Washington. Locally owned, nationally known. Hoyt's.
Welcome back to the sports show. Winless in Minnesota. Sydney, the Lynx, obviously, if you want to categorize them, but they're not really the NBA, the NFL, and I know I'll get some emails on that, but they're not.
34-game season, 12-team league. It doesn't count.
It's just different. Not
It's a
that you don't
summer
appreciate
job.
it.
It's a summer job for Maya Moore, okay?
How do you make more money?
How do you explain Cleveland winning it in basketball and all these statistics about Minnesota being the last team with 4 major franchises, and Cleveland doesn't even have that haven't won?
Actually, the last team with 3.
Oh, it's
The
terrible.
3. How do you explain that, though? Just by dumb luck, Minnesota should have a champion in there somewhere.
How do you explain it? The 4 franchises have done a lousy job of drafting.
Is that it?
Because
The Vikings you've always
they
liked, right?
drafted well. They have good players.
But it's more than drafting.
Have better players.
Patrick, give me a theory.
I don't think it has anything to do with the state we live in or anything like that. I think the Timberwolves have been a screwed up organization beyond belief. Maybe that's changing. The Twins got the game passed them by. The Vikings maybe have got their act together finally, but they had a team that could have won 98, 99, and the Wild, they're just I don't know. They haven't been close. They haven't had a superstar. They haven't had one guy you said this guy can take us to win the
Right.
cup.
I mean, Gabrick was good, but he wasn't that level.
Yeah. You know, every team has its cycles when it's up and down, and when it's this long of a drought, that means there's self-inflicted wounds. I remember the Wolves, when they got in trouble with signing Joe Smith under the table, the wink-wink, the ink-ink thing, and little things like that. The Twins drafting Todd Ritchie instead of Mike Mussina, things like that set franchises back. The Vikings led the league in police blotter entries for a run there, but now it looks like they've gotten things straightened out.
Well, as you throw in the other interesting statistics, when you throw in the 2 major sports at the university, basketball and football, I mean, they've barely won a Big Ten title when most people have been alive now. I mean, they've lost 3 generations. You know, football, 67, and basketball depends on you want to count.
You got to count 97, but 82 since it's official. So.
I mean, you throw that into the mix, and you're just talking about a Big Ten championship for the 2 major sports. So you're not even in the picture.
I can't believe the same disease that affects the pro sports teams also affects the college team. It's got to be something different.
I don't know. I'm just throwing it out there.
I can't answer that one.
Isn't it true? You win with better players.
Yep.
If you have great players, you win. Bud Grant will tell you coaches win a very few games. Gene Mock used to say, if I can steal 5 games a year, it's a miracle if I don't have the players. Apparently, the drafting on all 4 fronts has been lousy.
But drafting isn't the only way you win. You win by bringing trades, free agents, by developing players, from getting them from here to here. There's lots of ways that you get talent.
They had the players in '90. The Vikings had the players in '98. They just didn't get it done. They had the players.
And the Twins really have not had the players since '92.
2002, they were
they were there, but they were still a gap between them and the...
I keep thinking about blunders along the way. How far did the Herschel Walker trade set back the Vikings? They have been to 4 Super Bowls. The Twins are some of their hijinks. Letting David Ortiz go. He's going to the Hall of Fame as a Red Sox. I think you can look back and see little things along the way.
Did you interview Ortiz when he was in town?
No, I didn't get a chance to. But some other people did. He loves the city. He didn't mean to say anything bad about it when he said you walked down the street here and no one knew who you were. It was just a statement of how sucky the team was.
But you might have won a World Series if you kept him.
Yeah, if you look at
2002, 3, 4. He wouldn't be here today, but he could have been here another 5 years, right, Ortiz?
Yeah.
He might have won a World Series.
But would he have just been a spray hitter and he never would have?
No.
No, I think he would have evolved. I mean, the thing about Ortiz right now, he hits the ball 420 feet to opposite field. How did he learn how to do that?
How about Cleveland? They went 50 years without winning a championship until...
And I have to
mention that.
It does help when LeBron James grows up in Akron. I mean, if you could get somebody like that to grow up in your backyard, that does help.
It comes down to the players.
Right, but you've got to get a player to Cleveland like that, he has to have grown up there probably.
Here's what I want to say, though. There's nothing in America that can make a city feel better than sports.
Boy, isn't that true?
Right. Cleveland now, all of a sudden, Cleveland feels like it's a better place because the Cavaliers won a championship.
Right. Ryan Lefevre showed me a picture when he was in town when they had their World Series parade, and he's on stage and somebody took it from behind. There were 800,000 people. And it's a picture of him, he's emceeing the event.
That's
and you look at
everybody in Kansas City, basically.
Yeah, and you go, that's all I need to know.
Right, exactly. You haven't had many moments like that here. No, not since 91, right?
Yeah, since 91.
That's a long time.
We were happy. We were happy in 87 and 91.
Boy, those were special, man. Take a break, come back.
The Sports Show is brought to you in part by Case Law. For all your legal needs, not your typical law firm. Griffin Bail Bonds. It's better to know us and not need us than to need us and not know us. And Edge Marketing and Promotional Products. From T-shirts to swag, featuring over 100,000 products. We can put your logo on anything.
Change, Frank. Same time next week.
When it drives and looks like new, you'll want to treat it like new. Certified pre-owned by BMW.
Choose from 60 certified pre-owned BMWs at BMW of Minnetonka.
You are watching CW-23.
If you guys could go on a free shopping spree anywhere, where would you go? I'd go to the grocery store. Pizza, ice cream. I'd go shop for clothes. You know where I go? I'd go to Ticket King. Ticket King! At Ticket King, you can buy great seats for the Vikings, the Wild, the Timberwolves, and of course the Twins. We love the Twins! Yep, this is where I go. Vikings, Twins, Wild, Timberwolves, Gophers, theater, and concerts too. For details, go to ticketkingonline.com. Any ticket, anytime, anywhere. It's the real thing. It's Ticket King. Right, Dad?
Couldn't have said it any better myself.
That's for sure.
Take every step without hesitation. Anticipate your next move with certainty. Because our trusted advisors help you prepare for challenges specific to your business. Our focus is always on you, so your focus is always forward. Experience the power of being understood. RSM, Audit, Tax, and Consulting for the Middle Market.
You are watching CW-23.
Welcome back to the Sports Show. Before we move to soccer, which you really wanted to talk about first, you had one more thing to add.
Typical signing free agents. The 3 pitchers Terry Ryan signed. If those guys would turn out to be winners, this team would be winners. But they're all losers. So the team is losers.
Okay. Soccer, 18,000 showed up last night at Target Field. That was more than I thought would show up. Patrick?
Yeah, they were very pessimistic about 2 weeks ago, but I was talking to the United people, and they say, our people don't buy that many tickets in advance. And when they did this last year with their Hispanic opponent, the Club Leon fans didn't buy tickets until the day of the game or the day before the game. So they're a nice crowd.
I saw the field looked weird. They had to put turf on half the infield.
I just came from the field. It's empty now. But
to get out.
Here's my problem with soccer, though, Maxie. We just played Argentina, right? The big Club America, Cup America.
Copa America.
Yeah, it's Cup. I don't care. You can say Copa. What do you, Jose, you can say Copa. I say Cup. But anyway, no shots. Not only do we get beat 4-0, we don't get a shot on goal.
How do you watch
No shots on goal. You can't watch it. You cannot watch it.
I agree.
No shots. Not one.
Argentina completed over 600 passes in that game. The United States didn't even get to 200.
So is that what we're supposed to watch for? I mean, completed passes. How do you appreciate this game more if you're just trying to figure it out?
You enjoy the build-up and when they put together strings of passes that lead to goals.
Do they put flops in the box score or not?
No,
okay.
they actually should.
Put flops in the box.
They should. If the goalie is making acrobatic saves and if they're creating scoring opportunities, then that could be entertaining.
We're at that juncture of the show. Move it down to sit on set. You take it away from here, big fella.
I predict that in the next 10 days, the Timberwolves will sign a free agent who will be in the same class of some of the great rookies they got right now and make them the first real chance team to be a contender next year.
That's your prediction.
Let's write this one down.
I hope it's not.
Let's write this one down. It's going on that list with Beth Getz in it, Sam Mitchell staying as the Wolves coach, and the Wolves getting the soccer team.
See you back here next weekend, buddy.
The Sports Show is brought to you in part by Cambria, makers of quality quartz surfaces. Ticket King. For the best price on tickets anywhere, try Ticket King. RSM. This is the power of being understood. This is RSM. BMW of Minnetonka. Choose from 60 certified pre-owned BMWs at BMW of Minnetonka. And Bobby and Steve's Auto World. Go to BobbyandSteve'sAutoWorld.com for huge savings on everything from convenience store items to everything under the hood of your car.